how we do it. Right here on the Dr. Glidden Show. Really awesome, I think, to hear the same message iterated differently from another licensed naturopathic physician. This is what sweetens the pot here. This is what helps to solidify the understanding and eliminate cognitive dissonance and get everybody on the same page, right? It's not just Dr. Glidden that's saying this. It's not just Dr. Wallach that's saying this. It's thousands of licensed physicians all around the world who are beating on this drum, each in their own way, but the drum remains the same. Your body has a God-given, built-in, remarkable ability to fix itself. Your body needs 90 essential nutrients. Your body has crap in it that needs to exit the body. When you stop eating food that's coming up the works, start eating food that's healthy for the body, that doesn't pollute the body, when you provide the body with the essential nutrition that it needs and get the heck out of the way, guess what? The body recovers its health. Dr. Joseph Pizzorno, a legend in naturopathic medical, not only science, but also politics, the father of modern-day naturopathic medicine. Just spoke to him on the phone during the commercial breaks, and he wants to come back and teach us more stuff. So I'm very, very, very tickled about that, and also looking forward to bringing more naturopathic physicians to the table here so that you can experience the world as I've experienced it for the last 25 years. It takes a lot of people to make the train run, and there are a lot of naturopathic physicians kind of as engineers for this train, and I will bring as many of them as I can to the table here so you can all experience their words of wisdom, which hopefully, undoubtedly, assuredly will solidify with you the fundamental foundation philosophy of holistic naturopathic medicine. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so very much for tuning in and turning on and giving me your ear. Let's go to the phones right now. Go to California and talk to Josh. Hey, Josh, thanks for the call. You are live.
Hello?
Josh.
Hey, what's up, Dr. G, man? Probably good to talk to you, brother.
Hey, what's up, Josh, man?
All right, man. Yeah, I just been, I got a couple questions, about phosphorus, calcium, and potassium. I mean, I myself is not on dialysis, but I just heard you talk about it with some other fellow the other day that when taking blood test levels and potassium levels are high, phosphorus levels are high, calcium levels are high, it's actually the opposite. You don't have enough calcium, you don't have enough phosphorus, and you don't have enough potassium. Does that hold true?
Yeah, that's correct. The blood values are inversely related to what's happening nutritionally in the body. Now, there are some exceptions which prove that rule, but especially in dialysis, and this is because the MDs, bless their hearts, again, are like colorblind artists, right? Now, if you hired a colorblind artist to paint a picture of you, well, some of it would be right, but a lot of it would be wrong because they're colorblind, and all the colors would be wrong. It would look like you, but all the colors would be wrong, and it would be less than perfect. Well, because of their grounding in the reductionistic methodology and because their complete lack of understanding of medical nutrition and even the physiology of how those minerals are metabolized in the body, they get it wrong. So, they see that these levels are elevated, but they misinterpret what that means, and that's a problem. But because they're all in the same boat, and because all of their colleagues have misinterpreted the same results, and because they were taught in school that this is the correct way to do it, then it becomes reality by consensus, and it just becomes one gigantic incorrectness, that just kind of persists over time because they're the only people in charge. I mean, they own the show. They're the monopoly, and so nobody's calling them on what's going on. So especially with dialysis, right, what dialysis does, you have to remember, it's kind of a broad brush. It's like napalm, dialysis removes bad stuff from the blood, but it also removes good stuff from the blood, like potassium and phosphorus and iron and sulfur and zinc and selenium and a lot of stuff. And so the dialysis process will strip this stuff from your body so that you're extremely deficient in this, and then what the body does is it freaks out and rallies and takes the stuff out of stores, but because the dialysis process was so intense, it takes too much, and so your blood levels become elevated, which is a direct indication that you don't have enough. And so when you give a dialysis patient the 90 essential nutrients, which contain phosphorus and potassium and everything else that the body needs, you see those levels drop in the blood, actually. And then if you're lucky enough, and if we have intervened in time, if there's not too much damage present, if the body has not, gone beyond its ability to recover, then we can have the person recover from not need dialysis anymore, and that beats a poke in the eye with a sharp stick.
So that holds true. I mean, they have special diets for kidney patients and all that. And I know the fact that if, you don't go to a doctor for a nutritionist, to see what we eat. But, and they tell me that for me, a tomato is bad. So for me, I have a 50 bad food list, so I mean, should I follow what they say, or should I go with longevity?
No, go with longevity, because here's the deal, right? I mean, you just have to look to see results. I mean, this is what we do in every other aspect of society, right? I mean, you're not going to buy an automobile from a car manufacturer who makes crappy cars. I mean, they're going to go out of business. Nobody's going to do that. You're not going to buy a cellular device made by a company that produces crappy cellular devices, because who's going to do that? Well, nobody's going to do that in a free market. So you just have to look to see what type of results the MDs are delivering to patients on dialysis. Well, the results are bad, because the dialysis every couple of months, every couple of years needs to be increased. The rounds of dialysis need to be increased, and then the kidney gets worse and worse and worse and worse and worse, and then they're on a kidney transplant list. And that's what happens to everybody on dialysis. But while people are under the care of the MD and they're on dialysis, their kidney health is getting worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse and worse. Now, you can argue correctly so that without the dialysis you'd be dead, but the procedure that they put you on from soup to nuts doesn't help the kidney to recover its health, because your kidney gets worse over time. Everybody's does on dialysis. And right. What happens a large percentage of the time in patients seen by naturopathic physicians, and with, good new-fashioned medical nutrition, the kidney function gets better and better and better and better. And so, which is better, getting better and better, or getting worse and worse? Well, getting better and better is. And so I would lean on longevity 100% for 90 days, and then be your own judge, right? Because you're going to see noticeable and measurable improvement somewhere when you're on board longevity for 90 days. And, that's the only reason that we are still in business, is because we get results.
Right. Okay. Well, right on. And another thing about phytates, I know you talk a lot about phytates and how it absorbs minerals. I'm just saying the influence of phytates. I mean, I know one bean is not going to take all your minerals.
That's right. Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be some, give and go, let go here. There's give and take here.
Yeah, there is, and that's a good point. But regretfully, and look, man, if this was a perfect world, and there was just as much research money given to my profession as was given to the MDs and the pharmaceutical industry, we would have answered your question 30 years ago. and I could tell you exactly how many phytates you'd be able to eat. And I'd be able to tell you, well, you can eat 1.5 ounces of pinto beans, but you can only eat 3/4 of an ounce of black beans or whatever, right? I mean, we would have dialed this in, but nobody knows, man. I mean, nobody knows. So because nobody knows, our broad brush recommendation is, if you are attempting to upregulate minerals into the body, then it would be prudent that when you take a mineral supplement into your body for a couple hours before and a couple hours after, you just avoid phytates completely. Then you're completely right. You may be perfectly fine with, a small serving of beans, but you'd be perfectly bad with a medium-sized serving of beans. Nobody knows, man. I wish I had a better answer for you.
Yeah, that's right, man. Because most of the gluten-free products, man, they all got that phytate in there, and it makes it really tough,
I know it does. It makes it really tough. I mean, especially for patients that, are beneath the wheel of diseases which are, heavily related to minerals. Because what the phytate does is it'll bind to the mineral, and then you poop it out, so that the mineral that you've just swallowed, right, doesn't get into the bloodstream because it's bound to the phytate, and it kind of got locked into jail, and then you pooped it out and it didn't get into the bloodstream. Now, that doesn't happen to all of the minerals that you take, but we don't know the percentage there, and so, we're kind of floating down the stream, and who knows? It's got to be trial and error. So, that's regretfully what it's down to, man. It's trial and error, because the MDs own the show and ain't nobody doing this research, and it should have been done decades ago.
All right. Well, that's great. I'd like to thank you for your work, Dr. Glidden, and I'm on this path right now, man. I feel like, there's a God sent for me. So, I mean, just trying to, take this horse and ride with it, man,
Well, nothing argues better than results. Trust us, because we get results. You got to follow the program. If you have any questions about how to fine-tune the program, just call us up, and I am here to help. Keep up the good work in California, Josh, and I appreciate your trust. And this is, again, ladies and gentlemen, the methodology here, right? One person at a time. And then they tell one person, and then they tell one person, and then they tell one person, and then they tell one person. Worked pretty good for the church, didn't it? I mean, the Catholic-based religions, it started with 2 guys. Look at it now. Word of mouth is often the most effective grassroots campaign, and we've got a strong one moving down the track here. Stay tuned. Come on, all right, I'll tell you, right now, we're live. Hey, everybody, welcome back. Dr. Peter Glidden joined the live chat, the drgliddenshow.tv, the drgliddenshow.tv. We have a question from Belgium in the chat room. Evelyn was told that there was a problem with her fallopian tubes, and that was why she was not able to get pregnant, that she could only get pregnant with in vitro fertilization, which she's tried a number of times and it's failed. So, from our point of view, what is necessary in order to optimize the structure and function of the reproductive tract is the following. Number 1, you must eliminate the 10 bad foods. Number 2, you must eliminate the 10 bad foods. Number 3, eliminate the 10 bad foods. Number 4, get on board with a diet and or nutritional supplement program that delivers to your body 100,000 ORAC points of antioxidants a day, and I do not care how you do that. 100,000 ORAC points of antioxidants a day is what's required. Figure out how to get that done. If you want help about that, you can go and get my free book, freedoctorbook.com, freedoctorbook.com. I have an entire chapter on antioxidants and what they're all about. What's it all about, really, anyway? So I check it out, freedoctorbook.com. The last but not least, we need to give the body the raw materials it needs to optimize its structure and function. Evelyn is on a limited budget. She can only afford approximately $150 US a month. So the recommendation for you, Evelyn, would be one bottle of Ultimate Classic. I can't believe I said that out loud. One bottle of Ultimate Classic per month. One bottle of EFA Plus per month. One bottle of Cal Toddy per month, and one or two bottles of selenium. Actually, one bottle of selenium per month and one bottle of plant-derived minerals. So that's one plant-derived minerals, one selenium, one Cal Toddy, one EFA Plus, and one Ultimate Classic. Do those supplements every month. Eliminate the 10 bad foods and eat a diet that's high in antioxidants. Do that for 3 months in a row and then attempt to get pregnant. And, you know, I'm not averse to having you name your child Dr. Glidden. I have no problem with that whatsoever. Let's go to Michigan and see what Terrence is up to. Hey, Terrence, thanks for the call. You are live.
Dr. Glidden, how are you today?
Pretty good, Terrence. God willing, I'll get better. What's up?
Dr. Glidden, I went to bed last night. My hip was bothering me real bad all day at work, and I took me a shower and everything in a nice soaking bath. 2 o'clock this morning, I could not lift my legs out of bed to walk.
Ouch.
I did everything I could but just cry.
Yeah.
And I started rubbing down my body with oils and Young Living oils I have, and everything, nothing worked. I mean, my wife just tried to help me all she could to pull me up, and it wouldn't work.
Was it both hips?
Just one hip on my right side.
Yeah, okay.
And I got up and I called the doctor. I made an appointment to go in. And I said, no, I'm going to call Pastor G.
All right, good. Here we go. So here's what I want you to do. I want you to lie down on the floor on your back. I mean, are you able to do that, or is it the pain so bad that you can't even blink an eyelash?
Oh, no. Since I called Pastor G and he hit me over the young...
All right. So I want you to lie down on the floor. After I'm done telling you what to do, right? I want you to lie down on the floor. I kind of want you to wiggle your hips around, and then I want you to put your 2 legs, out straight, and I want you to bring your ankle bones together. Bring the ankle bones together. And I'm going to bet you the ankle bone's on the inside, right? And I'm going to bet you that the ankle on the left foot, it's the left side of your body that hurts?
It's the right side.
The right side? I'm going to bet you that the ankle bone on the right foot is going to be not parallel with the ankle bone on the left foot, and that it's going to be closer to your body, and the left foot is going to be further away from your body when you measure the two. You're going to have somebody else look at this, like your wife. She's going to have to bring your feet together and see whether or not the ankle bones are lined up. And I'm going to bet you that your left foot is going to be longer than your right foot. Have somebody check that out right now, and I'll bring you back up when we return from this commercial break. Check it out. That's how we do it, ladies and gentlemen, one person at a time. I'm Dr. Glidden, your steadfast advocate for holistic health. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Dr. Peter Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. Let's go back to Terrence and see whether or not I was right. All right, Terrence, is one leg longer than the other?
One leg is longer than the other because I broke my right leg twice, and I wear orthotic under my right shoe, in my right shoe.
And it's the right hip that's hurting?
Yes.
All right. So there is a very common phenomenon, and it's loosely referred to as sacroiliac impingement. It's kind of where your thigh bone and your pelvis and your backbone all join up. There's a joint there, And it's easy for that joint to get locked out of place. I mean, you can cough or sneeze or turn around the wrong way, and that joint gets tweaked out of place. And when that joint is tweaked out of place, I mean, it's like having a sprained ankle, man. It's just, it hurts, and it hurts, and it's going to continue to hurt until somebody pops it back into place, and the only person that can do that is a chiropractor.
Okay.
So
I called Pastor G, and he had me to take the calcium and the magnesium and the Arnicare.
Not a bad idea.
I put on it.
Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
And it took the pain. The pain is it's much. Oh God. I can
much
breathe.
better, right? Yeah. So you got to continue with that, but I'm going to bet you 25 cents that this is a mechanical thing.
Okay.
And that, that joint needs to be popped back into place, and when it is popped back into place, you're going to feel like $1 million.
Great. Okay. I'll get to my chiropractor.
Yeah, chiropractors know how to do that. As a matter of fact, this particular technique of popping this joint back into place in chiropractic circles is referred to as the $1 million roll, because the chiropractors have made millions of dollars literally from doing just this one adjustment, because most everybody in the country is going to need this adjustment at least once a year, and people get it to varying degrees. But in the meantime, I would keep doing everything that you're doing nutritionally, but get to the chiropractor. I think that's going to be your savior in this regard.
Thank you, Dr. Glidden. I really appreciate you, man.
Well, you can thank me after it works, Terrence. I appreciate the trust very, very much. Let's go to Allison in Utah. Hey, Allison, what's happening? Thanks for the call. You are live.
Hi. I'm feeling that this is a privilege to be able to get on your radio program, and I'm new to longevity. I started the process on the 30th of September.
Hey, well, welcome aboard. That's awesome.
Yes.
Really great. Thanks so much. What's your experience been so far?
Well, it's been excellent already, because I'm on sleep apnea.
Oh, yeah.
The first 3 days, I already felt a difference. In fact, I was using oxygen with the CPAP. And the third day after, I prayed about this, and I dumped the oxygen. Don't need it.
Good girl.
So, I'm excited about the nutrients and working forward. And here's the thing. I'm on the CPAP, and I was told that I am a central apnea, which I need a BiPAP. And I'm so tired of working with the insurance company and the provider, the vendor. I need you to talk on this subject. I mean, what would my direction be to resolve this? Can this be resolved, and how?
Well, so they told you, what was the distinction with your particular condition? What did they tell you it was?
Well, first, I had an oximeter, and they said I needed a CPAP machine. I stopped breathing, and there wasn't enough oxygen. So I first started out with oxygen alone, with a concentrator. Then they assigned me to a CPAP machine with oxygen.
Yep.
Okay, and then they did a couple more oximeters with the oxygen and CPAP, and the doctor decided, actually she's a nurse practitioner, decided that I needed to have a BiPAP because I have central apnea, and I wasn't breathing past that certain range that the CPAP was set up for on automatic. So I'm getting tired of all this rubbish, and I thought, I'm sick of doctors. I'm done.
I know.
So
welcome to our life, right?
Well, I'm delighted about this possibility, and the person that it was a divine intervention. I was in the right place at the right time, and this gentleman was telling me all about longevity. And of course, my ears perked up because this is not a new topic for me.
Well, we don't address this issue enough, and this issue is the one of divine intervention. I'm going to tell you all about sleep apnea in just a second, but this is a point worthy of spending a minute on.
Sure.
I would gainsay that a majority of people who have been enrolled in longevity would consider their enrollment in longevity divine intervention. I would say that it's the majority of people that are in longevity because of, the health. There are some people that are in longevity because of just the business opportunity, and that's really their thing. They want to be more financially secure. But even for some of those people, they felt like it was a divine intervention because they just went bankrupt or they just went broke or something. Their kid needs a $10,000 surgery to remove a piece of shrapnel from their leg and they can't afford it, and they pray, and then the next day they see longevity. So you're not alone in your experience that there's something going on behind the scenes here to, introduce people into the longevity methodology. That would be an interesting poll to take, really. That would be an interesting poll to take, to see how many people had that experience of being introduced to longevity. I think I'm going to do that when the next opportunity arises, so I appreciate your telling us that, number one. Number two, all right, now, this is where you may start to get angry, okay?
Why?
So are you? Well, just listen to me. Not at me, but angry at the system.
Oh, well, I'm already pretty much there. I don't need too much more.
Angrier, okay, maybe not.
Before you get into number two, I'm 77. I don't do aspirins and all this crap. Doctors try to prescribe thyroid, and the last one was they took the test and I had too much iodine. She wanted me to take iodine, and then she prescribed the thyroid. I said, no, I'm not taking thyroid on the results of too much iodine because, obviously I would be more hypo. So I've been released. I don't listen to them. I'm done. I know
it's interesting because oftentimes they'll do the incorrect diagnostic procedure, or they'll make the wrong determination from the diagnosis. They'll get it backwards. I mean, stuff like this happens all of the time.
Sure.
And quite frankly, it's a little scary from my point of view because there's so many MDs in the world who just don't have a clue. But in any event, we are of the opinion, based on our understanding of physiology, that sleep apnea is a physician-created disease, that there is, in fact, no such thing as sleep apnea, and that it's a canard, it's a red herring, it's a fictitious illness created by the disease, either on purpose or through their inept juvenile understanding of the pathophysiology of the human body. Now, as far as I'm concerned, nobody has ever died from sleep apnea. And most of the time, the only people that sleep apnea bothers are the people that are sleeping with the people who have sleep apnea.
Okay.
Now, there are a handful of people who have been diagnosed with sleep apnea who feel much, much, much better in the morning after they've been given the CPAP machine, right?
I don't. I'm still tired.
All right. So then that would indicate that you, in fact, are not a candidate for the CPAP machine whatsoever, and that you've just been fed a red herring, because here's the deal. Your breathing is one of the few mechanisms in the body which is both automatic and inside your control. When you're sleeping, you can alter your breaths, right? You can take deep breaths, you can take rapid breaths, you can hyperventilate, you can hold your breath, you can do a lot of things, right?
Exactly.
But when you're sleeping, your breath is outside of your conscious control. You're not consciously controlling the breath. So when you're sleeping, or, you're not thinking about it, the regulation of the breath goes to an automatic procedure in the body, and the automatic procedure of inspiring and expiring, inhaling and exhaling, is regulated by how much carbon dioxide and nitrogen, or carbon dioxide specifically, are building up in the blood. Different people have different levels of metabolism. Different people have different body weights. Different people have different heights. Different people have different metabolic ranges of activity. Some people are fast metabolizers. Some people are slow metabolizers. Some people are 6'4" and 250 pounds with 10% body fat, and some people are 5.1 with 40% body fat and they're 100 pounds overweight. different people have different bodies, and the different body type and all of these variables will come into play in determining how fast their respiration is when they are unconscious. Which means, how long does it take carbon dioxide to build up in your blood when you are asleep, sufficient to the cause to make you exhale and then inhale, because that's what regulates the exhalation and the inhalation is the amount of bad gas that builds up in your blood. Well, if you're a slow metabolizer, it's going to take a long time for bad gas to build up in your blood, so when you're sleeping, you're not going to breathe as much as the next person might, and so forth and so on down the road. You know, different strokes for different folks. So, breathing rates during sleep are regulated by the unconscious, the autonomic nervous system in the body, and it's a completely self-regulating machine. Now, the MDs do not believe that the body has self-regulating, inherent, God-given intelligence. The MDs believe the body is just a biochemical bag of chemicals waiting to break, and that the older that you get, the more likely it is for things to break, and that it's only a matter of time until things break. And honestly, if you did enough diagnostic techniques to everybody, the MD is going to find something with everybody that's just not right. So, you know, they do the pulse oximeter, or they do they look at your gas levels somehow, and then based on their determinations, they say, oh, your oxygen levels are too low, or oh, your oxygen levels are too high. And you could argue that their baselines are incorrect, which I argue all the time. But from their point of view, they're colorblind artists, and they don't know that they're colorblind, and so they're misinterpreting the data all of the time. And people like you are the unwilling victims of their incompetence. You know, in their peculiar, outdated, anachronistic worldview. So, long story short, you don't have sleep apnea. And if your experience is that you don't feel any different when you have the machine as when you don't have the machine, then you don't need the machine, because the MD is full of crap. And that's the long and the short of it. Now, is it always appropriate and prudent and necessary and, quite frankly, mandatory to support and promote healthy circulation and healthy oxygen metabolism in the human body? Yeah, 100%. So you need to be off of the 10 bad foods, and you need to be on the appropriate healthy pack in order to give your body all of the stuff that it needs. And I'll dial that in for you specifically when we come back. Stick around. All right, everybody, Dr. Glidden here, your steadfast advocate for health. Let me see if the microphones are synced. Yes, they are. Let's go back to Allison in Utah and dial it in for her. Allison, are you still with me?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, so what's your current body weight?
183 on my scale, 189 in the doctor's office.
Yeah, they put their thumb on the scale there, probably.
Yeah, and I'm a 5'3", I think, and a half.
All right, so are you familiar with the 10 bad food list?
I can't tell them to you off the top of my head, but my sponsor sent them to me, and I've read them. I can't announce them right now.
Oh, well, that's okay, but you've got the list, is what I mean.
Oh,
so
definitely, I do.
All right, you need to become, the queen of the 10 of eliminating the 10 bad foods in Utah.
Well, I don't do fast foods. I don't do fries. I don't do chips. I don't do any of that stuff.
But
I don't even have a microwave.
Well, all right, but you also need to eliminate whole grains and breads and pastas.
I already was on gluten-free. I discerned that before I got on longevity, so I'm doing gluten-free bread.
Okay, so just make sure you've dialed in all 10 bad food freedom.
I will.
And life is good, number one. Number two, in a perfect world, per month, you would be doing 2 Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid. Ponderously long name, Healthy Body Start Pack 2.0 liquid.
Yeah, that's what I started out with.
We need 2 of those a month.
30th.
You need 2 of those a month.
Two in a month, okay.
If budget allows, otherwise do 1.
Yeah.
And either 4 bottles of Ultimate Selenium per month.
Okay, of selenium. I only did 1.
Or 2. 2 is the minimum.
Okay, selenium 2 minimum. Got it.
4 maximum.
4 max. Got it.
Plant-derived minerals.
Plant-derived minerals. Okay.
1 minimum, 2 maximum.
1 minimum, 2 max. Got it.
Yep. And last but not least, 1 bottle of Ultimate Daily capsules per month.
Bottle daily. What are you called?
Yeah, it's called Ultimate Daily Caps.
Ultimate Daily
Capsules. Yeah. Now I'm going to give you a heads up about those, because those arguably are the hardest supplement that Youngevity has to swallow. I personally have choked on that supplement 3 times. That's because
thanks for sharing.
I was rushing and I just wasn't paying attention. So you have to either take those capsules one at a time and be mindful of when you take them so that you swallow them, appropriately, and you wash them down.
Are they bigger than the EFAs?
Yeah, but they're not soft and squishy like the EFAs. They kind of stick to your tongue.
Oh, cute. Okay.
Yeah, so there's a workaround for that. You want to put those in the freezer. You put the capsules in the freezer, and that hardens them up, and it makes it easier to swallow them.
Okay.
Or, which is a better idea, you can go get one of those mortar and pestles,
Oh, yeah, I know. Mm-hmm.
Grind up the Ultimate Dailies. You're going to need to do 6 a day, 2, 2, and 2. So you can grind up 2 at a time and mix them in with food, mix them in with applesauce, mix them in with yogurt or whatever, and that's probably a better way to take them.
Okay.
That's a little work intensive. Or you can put them in like one of those little coffee grinders, and just grind them up into a powder, right?
Okay. So what I added, my new order should come tomorrow. Ultima Floral FX Slender FX Sweeties, Ultimate Enzymes, Ultimate Glucogel 240. Those were what I was supposed to take the first time, but I didn't have the cash to do that.
Well, do you have a bone and joint issue?
Yes, my knees. Yes, my knees. I've done a lot of foot races and triathlons.
All right, so do the protocol that I just recommended.
Yes.
I want you to add 2 bottles of Glucogel at the 240 count, 2 bottles of Glucogel at the 240 count in a month. Now, the stuff that you just got, take it and finish it. But next month, I want you to order what I just told you to order. And don't worry about the CPAP, because it is just, you don't need it. And honestly, the people that convinced you that do need it, should be sent to jail, in my opinion. We're out of time, Allison. I appreciate your trust. Ladies and gentlemen, mark today's show in your archives and look at the first hour's interview with Joe Pizzorno over and over again. So very happy he was able to be with us. I am your steadfast advocate for health. I'll see you all around campus. Live long and prosper.